My name is ANEESH. I'm from Franal Alignment. We're the distributors for Easy Laser. And today I'm going to show you how to measure straightness with the S&M units. So you can use the S&M units either with the wires or with the wireless units, depending upon the application. And if your distance is low, it's better to use always the wires. And if in case the battery is less in your S&M units, you can also use the cables to do the measurement. So in my case, I'm using the cables because my battery is low in the S&M units, but you can always use the wireless units for measurement stuff. So we go into the display box, which has all the programs. So we get into the second program, which is straightness. And once you enter the straightness, it shows the sub menu, which is for straightness for single planes, and this is straightness for half circles, full bows, and bearing ovality to measure. So in this case, we are just going to measure straightness in one single plane. So we go to use straightness program. So once you press enter, it goes inside your program, and you press the second button, that is your settings, and just go to see the detector units. So now we have two units, S&M units. So we have to use one of the units as our detector and one of the units as our transmitter. So in this case, I'm going to use the S unit as the stationary. That is, this is going to be my transmitter in all the cases. So I'll just put it in the other way around so that it's not going to interrupt in my measurement procedure. So you can put it, if you're going to measure the straightness in this plane, so you can put it on one end, you can lock the magnet, and then take the other units and go as close as possible. Go as close as possible. You can make a marking with your pen or a pencil, and you can see the values here. So now this shows you the connected detectors. This is S72441. 72441 is my S detector. Which we are not going to use it as our detector, which we are going to use it only as our laser. So I'm going for the other detector because I'm going to use the M unit as my detector. So the first one is your detector. So now it shows only one horizontal reading. It's because that the vertical is not hitting inside. Yeah, now you can see both the vertical and the horizontal. So I lock it. So you can mark it now. The first point, this is going to be your reference point. So you can mark it. So the next time when we come to we have to always keep it in the same point. So now what I do, I just make a 0 here. You press the 0. So this becomes your reference. So the next step is that you have to make the first step is that you have to make the line as a straight line. So I'm just going to the loss point where you're going to measure. The lost end. So you can use this S&M units as far as 20 meters long. So irrespective of what your length is, you can use it up to 20 meters. Length of your measuring plane. So and then once you go, you lock the detector, you can mark it down. So the next time you have to place it in the same position. So now you can see that the laser is not hitting anywhere inside the detector surface, and that's why it's not measuring inside the display box. So the first step is that we have to find it where it is hitting. So now I can place my hand inside, and you can see that it's hitting outside, or you can place it paper and you can see that it is hitting somewhere outside the detector surface. So now I can see that this is hitting outside the detector surface which is far below. So in our S&M units we have two fine adjustment screws. So this fine adjustment screws are used for angularity adjustment when you are at the far end. So I'm just taking the laser now to the center point, and you can also see it. When you are adjusting it. So I bring it closer, and once it hits the detector surface, then you can start with your, by seeing the display box you can do the adjustments, and you can bring it to 0.1 levels, within 0.1 levels to start with. Then we can go closer again. The same position where we made the measurement first. And now we repeat the procedure again. Make a 0. And now I can see that it's somewhat closer to the center. So I'm going to adjust it again. Within the levels of 0. We're going to measure straightness in only one plane, so I'm not bothering about the horizontal. What I need most is the vertical. So I go back again. So now you can see that it's within 0.03. 0.03. And if I'm going farther, it's 0.05, which is which is good enough if you want to measure the straightness. And if your tolerance is very, very low, like say for example, if you're measuring the straightness of a machine bed, wherein the tolerance is within the levels of microns, then you need to go to the levels of 0.0. It's always good. You can also press microns, and you can also go to, you have to maybe repeat the procedure, maybe another one time, and you can get to absolute 0. So now once you get this, you can go for measurement. So I say my initial procedure is done, and then I start going for measurement. So you can press enter. You can either give your measurement procedure first itself. You can set up your measurement procedure first itself by pressing this. So in this case, we'll be saying to the display box the number of measuring points and the distances between each and every measuring point. So, or if you don't want to do it like this, you can also enter the measuring points at each and every moment, so the system knows. So I start with this procedure so that it's easy for me, so that I can delete, I can remeasure at any point of time. So you go here. So the first point, so you keep it in the same position where you had the reference point, and I press enter. So I just go to the settings also. If you don't want the horizontal, you can always take away the horizontal also. So if you do, it doesn't matter even if it is there. So I just leave it like that, because I will be considering only the vertical. So you can just press enter. So the distance from the first, so I say this one is 0, enter, and you press enter again, and this measurement is registered. And then you go for the next measurement point, maybe 100 meters away from this. You measure it with your tape. Measure it with your tape, maybe 200 meters. So I'm going to take it every 200 meters, and then I'm just placing it. You can mark it, and you can place place it. And now you know that it is 0.56 down. You can see it. So I'll just press enter. So let's say 200 from the first point, and I'm pressing enter. So if you want to make any adjustment now, you can shim it and make it up, because this is live values, 0.56 up. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to the next measurement point. So the next measurement point is I'm going to take it 200 millimeters away from the second one. So it's 400 millimeters from the first point. So it's 400. Enter. Enter. $600. The next one. Enter. $800. And then you go to the last reference point. In which you had set your 0. It will be still in the same levels. .0 something. Press enter. 1000. Enter. No, it's not an issue. Okay. So now I say to this system that my measurement is done. So I go for pressing this, and then you can set your reference points. So you can go to the corresponding points, because the first point and the last point was our reference points. So I just set this as my reference point, 0. And this one, the last point, also as my reference point. So now we know how much each and every point is below the straight line. So you can also view it as a graph. So we can we don't need the horizontal is blue, but we need, what we have to consider is the vertical is the black one. So it shows that it is down, and then it is coming back again. And you can store it at any time. And if you want to set your tolerances also, you can set it. If you don't want to, in case if you don't want to see the horizontal in your results, so you can always go to this settings, show hide horizontal values. Show horizontal values. If you say no, then it will not show you the horizontal values. So it will only show you the vertical values. So in this case, it will not be confusing for you, because it will be showing only the vertical values. You can then save it. Save straightness. Straightness, and then your measurement is done. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you will make a good job out of this by seeing this video. Thank you.